Hello, and welcome back to Black Balance Fitness TV presents the Financial Fitness Forum, Interview with the Boss. Allow me to introduce our special guest for tonight, an ambitious young couple from Team JTS in the Unity Hierarchy. Top-notch athletes and entrepreneurs, this tenacious couple was the #1 contributors to $1 million earning business. Up-and-coming directors, junior brokers looking to quickly make a name for themselves in the agency as one of 2021's newest MD senior brokers, Miss Kelly Sager and Mr. Niko Lugo. Welcome to the show, Kelly, and thank you for being here.
Lamitra, thank you for having us. I'm super excited to be joining this time with you. So I'm looking forward to see what's going on, what's going to happen.
Likewise, Lamitra, obviously me and you talk all the time offline. You freaking love your spirits. I'm excited to be here with you tonight.
Wonderful. I'm so excited that you guys were able to come on to the show. So tell us a little bit about Team JTS and what your experience was like at our last big event back in January.
Okay. Absolutely. I think I'll go first. But before I talk about big event, I guess I would like to kind of introduce myself a little bit. So as Miss Lamitra said, Kelly Sager, here with Niko Lugo, my fiance, my beautiful chocolate man, as my brother-in-law says. But I was a previous college softball player. I got my bachelor's and associates in criminal justice, and was raised on in a small town on a small farm in Southern Illinois. And made my way to a bigger city in Louisville, Kentucky, and then made my way to a bigger city here in St. Louis, Missouri now. And the same month that I graduated, Lamitra, I don't know if you know this or not, but the same month that I graduated college was the same month that we started this business together. And we were only, how many months was that together? That was only
like 4 or 5 months.
That was like 5 months of being in a relationship together. We started a business. And shortly after, we moved in right before together and then started a business right after, which is kind of crazy, right? Because not a lot of couples do that, right? Move in together fast and then start a business together fast. But when I tell you it's been such a growing experience together, a lot of people tell you not to get in business with family, but being in business with my family, my spouse, my partner has been amazing because you grow through so many years of relationships, of issues or obstacles to overcome that a lot of relationships don't experience, or they experience 30 years into the relationship and then there's a big problem. So we've worked through, I want to say maybe like 10, 12 years of marriage just in being in a compressed relationship in business together in the last 2 years, which has been awesome. But that's kind of my background. I guess I'll let you give your background before.
Yeah, of course. So for me, it was very simple. I was playing baseball since I was 3 years old. I was born in New York, raised in Puerto Rico. And raised in Puerto Rico, it was pretty difficult because the only thing that we do is just go to school, work, right, and play the game. So that's what I did. So I played the game for 15 years. I went to New York. I played baseball for 3 years. Then I went to Kentucky. I played there for 2 years. I finished my college career. And I met Kelly Sager, right? And at this point, I didn't know who Kelly Sager was, right? So we met at a pizza joint. And next thing you know, we just connected super well. We just hang out for a bit. I literally said, you know what? I want to make a decision to be able to be set up like for a family. I was planning to have a family. I didn't know who was going to be. And then the fact that Kelly Sager came to my life, we had that connection. It was like amazing. So now going back to PHP, how we started PHP. PHP for me was very simple. I was looking for an opportunity to become an entrepreneur, let me tell you. I was looking for the opportunity to become an entrepreneur. I didn't know what it was going to be, by the way. The first thing that came to my head was real estate, right? That's everybody's goal. Let me go to real estate. So that was my goal, right? So next thing you know, I was literally had $4,000 in my bank account. I said, Kelly, I'm going to invest $4,000 to become a real estate agent. And she was like, what are you doing,
Yeah,
Niko?
as a woman, you should understand how that feels. I'm going to take all of our money and go put it somewhere. No, right?
Right? So I was like, I'm gonna spend $4,000 to become a real estate agent. She said, no, wait for a minute, wait for a little bit. And to be honest, the fact that I have somebody like Kelly Sager on my side telling me yes or no and just guiding me to be the person I am today is amazing, because next thing you know, 4 months later, my brother-in-law comes to me and say, hey, I got an opportunity for you to become an entrepreneur. I was like, really, what is it? And he goes, you're gonna sell life insurance. I'm like, really? Out of all the industry that you're talking about, you wanna do life insurance? And next thing you know, I sat down with the SVP of the company. His name is Mr. Fred Terrace. he gave me the opportunity to be part of PHP. Next thing you know, me and Kelly are full-time entrepreneurs with PHP, and it's been an amazing journey.
And a little funny note about that, Lemetria, is how we got started. Tell her what happened, how we actually got started when we met Fred Terrace, when you met Fred Terrace.
Oh, so yeah, so let me tell you this. The reason, let me tell you how we got started with PHP. So when my brother-in-law comes to me and say, "Hey, Niko, I got an opportunity for you to become an entrepreneur," I said, "Right, life insurance and all that." I sat down with Fred Terrace. This was not in the house.
I was at work.
She was working. And mind you, that I told you that I was gonna spend $4,000 in the real estate agent. So $200 with PHP to get started as an entrepreneur was nothing for me. So the fact that he said, "Do you keep your options open?" Yes. "Do you want to make extra money?" Yes. "So what are you gonna use, your MasterCard or your Visa?" I said, "Visa."
And I walk in right at that point and like giving his card information. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And
Right.
he's like, "No, baby, it's all good. You're gonna do it too." What are you talking about? Oh my gosh,
Right.
that is amazing.
Next thing you know, I'm just swapping my card. Got my business code with PHP. 2 years into the business, me and Kelly are full time. Then we have been enjoying it since.
Wonderful. That's amazing. And I totally understand what you mean. Yeah, you got to be careful about making those big decisions on your own there.
Right.
But hey, PHP, it was a great decision to make, right? Definitely, when you first kind of hear about the business, it seems almost too good to be true, but once you're in it, you realize what a noble profession it is and what you're really doing to change people's lives, and it's wonderful. So
Absolutely.
tell us about your experience with Big Event.
Big event. I'll go first on that one. Big event. So typically on big events with PHP, right, we have to travel somewhere. Right, we gotta buy plane tickets. We gotta pick up and move. We gotta find a dog sitter for the weekend. Usually it's not a hassle, but it's a blessing, right? That's a problem I love to have, trying to rearrange so we can go on a business trip to educate ourselves and, give it back to our team. But this year, here in the Midwest, we hosted our very own, us and 3 other leaders here in the Midwest, we hosted our own event here in St. Louis, Missouri, down at, I think it was a Marriott Grand Marriott, one of the two. But it was amazing because we didn't have to travel. People traveled here. So it was really cool being able to set up our own venue, make all the arrangements, help, do all the tech side of things, set up the computer, set up the screen monitors, be early, start the music, all that stuff. But my biggest part of this big event was, 1, seeing the leadership side of running your own big event, and 2, I really, really, really enjoyed Charlie Kirk. And I didn't even know who he was before the event, to be honest. I had no idea who he was. But between him and Gary Chapman, the author of the 5 Love Languages, which I think we might get into later in our conversations, but those 2 people were my biggest takeaways from big event. Obviously, Gary Chapman, just freaking genius about relationships, okay? So if you're good at a relationship, you can use that in any type of relationships, whether that be business, personal, friendships, whatever. If you're good at the core of it, you can be good at anything. And that's my favorite part about big event.
Right. Big event for me is always an opportunity for me to just expand my vision even further, right? As entrepreneurs, you have to surround yourself with people that think big. So big event PHP is all about thinking big and just going to the next level. So when I go to a big event, my only mindset is to say, who's gonna be that next person that's gonna change my life, right? I want to be a student of the game. So big event is just an experience that I feel like a lot of people in the industry have to experience in order to understand where is the big event. Because we can tell you where is the big event, but if you don't go, if you're not experienced, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So for me personally, it's just experience to say, I think that me and Kelly are ready to go to the next level. And what that next level is, we don't know yet. We cannot dictate the future, but we know that we can control what we can control. And it's basically just working on our business, working in our business, and making sure that everything in our business is literally thorough in order to just go to the next level. So for me, it's all about thinking big and being a student of the game.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that also, just for both of us, just to see everybody's reaction when they experience their own either first big event or they experience their first recognition at a big event. That's awesome. Because I remember our very first big event was phenomenal. It was in Las Vegas. It was amazing, right? The late Kobe Bryant was there. You know, rest in peace, his soul. But it was just amazing. It's eye-opening, and it's like, man, this is actually, it's real, it's tangible. There's people just like me that I can see and touch that are trying to do something big. But keyword is trying, right? A lot of people can try and they might waver and wonder, but the real leaders, they stay aligned and they stay, like you said, very thorough on what their business needs, and that's how they get to that next level.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love everything that you guys said about Big Event. It truly is a transformational event. It's one of those things where you walk in one way and you walk out another. You know, you definitely you learn a lot, and if you don't level up after a big event, like, what did you even go for? Like, really, you have to be like pretty much sleep the whole time. Like, you have to just really ignore everything in order to not something out of it. Like, you have to pretty much.
And one nugget. And one nugget I would like to just give those people who are watching this video right now. This nugget is very simple. Go out there with a mission, and your mission is to literally talk to that person that you follow, right? That you want a role model, in order to just have a one-on-one conversation, because that conversation can change your whole perspective about the financial industry. My example was a George Polaris conversation that I had about about me and Kelly not connecting in this business. We didn't know what we was doing in this business. We was always fighting. She's an alpha, I'm an alpha, right? So having two alphas in the same household is like, oh my God, we're gonna kill each other, right? It's like, we are going to kill each other. Like, we look at our eyes and it's like, man, don't talk to me because something's gonna happen.
Especially because being post athletes, we're like chest puff, we're like, man, come at me, right?
We are not going to back down. So a big event, let me just tell you why a big event is so important for those people that are watching this live. Guys, a big event is all about having that one conversation can change your whole life, around your whole marriage, around your whole relationship with your spouse, with your significant other, with your fiance. It literally does, because that person that's making $250,000, $500,000, $1 million is doing something that you don't know what to do in order to go to that next level. So the fact that they paved the way for us, and having those conversations is gonna literally just set a perspective, a guideline, a protocol, a blueprint, however you want to say it, in order to just make sure that everything in our relationship works well, in order for that business to work well. So that one conversation with George Polaris saved me and Kelly, saved us from quitting in PHP.
And that's a good point that you bring up too, which is something that we kind of had twisted in the beginning was, okay, if the business works good, then our relationship's gonna be good. We just gotta focus on the business first. Pause, let's put on the gas, the brake pedal for a second. No, it's the other way around. The relationship, once again, like I said earlier, it's the basis of everything. If the relationship is not steady, then your business is not going to be steady. If your relationship is an emotional roller coaster, guess what else is going to be a roller coaster? Your business, right? So the business doesn't matter if you're not focused on developing the relationship first. And that's something that kind of hit us in the face in a good way, right? Slap us across the face, right? A verbal slap, like Fred says it. And that conversation with George Polaris, especially, so thankful for his leadership. So grateful for that, and all the other leaders we have in the business. But that was such a pivotal moment for us, because we literally, at a big event, Lemitra, you know, right? At an in-person big event, you're going all day, energy, boom, 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 note-taking, and then like 5 hours of sleep, and then you do it all again the next day. Right. So that day that we spoke with George Polaris, that was how long? An hour and a half?
It was an hour and 45-minute conversation.
An hour and 45 minutes with George Polaris, $1 million earner that did not even have to sit with us for 10 minutes. But he sat with us for an hour and 45 minutes, which once again I'm so thankful for. 100%. We took that in, and then we went up into the hotel and had another 2-hour conversation.
Back to back.
So whenever everyone else is sleeping, we're out there saying, do you trust me? Do you do this? Are you confident here? Where are you confident at? You know, what are your skills? Do you trust? Like the last question was, do you trust me? For both of us. Yes, I do. Okay, great. Then we can do this. Because if we don't have a trust in each other when we're running appointments and we're not here at the same time, then the business is faulty anyway, right? So once again, the relationship is just the basis of everything. It'll make or break anything that you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Trust and being trustworthy are definitely huge in any type of relationship, intimate, business, anything. Absolutely. For sure. And thank you for mentioning all of the speakers. Absolutely, we had Charlie Kirk, Terrell Owens, and Gary Chapman, among other speakers that are people that are in the agency that have made great strides. And I just, like you said, you never know what type of information you might come out with, or what you might learn, what you might be able to fix. Like, hey, and that's true. A lot of people do believe that if they're doing well in the business, or they know what they're doing in the business, then everything should work well when they come working with their partner, or because they work well with their partner in another area, that hey, jumping into a business together should be gravy. But it's not always that way.
No.
A lot of times you think your partner might be a little bit more feminine and they have a little more masculine energy, or they're a little bit more aggressive, and you think they're more passive, and maybe we're in a different environment then. So,
it's so true.
It's so true.
A lot of us are, we're super competitive, we're go-getters, we want to be the best, and so, but when you get into a business, especially with your spouse, competing against each other can sometimes be counterproductive. So I can totally agree with being about having like a rocky start, and having to reach up to your mentors, to your upline, and get some advice and information, not only just about the business, but about how you personally work through that, so that your business can grow. So absolutely wonderful advice. And I've been asking all of the couples about Gary Chapman's 5 love languages. And so I want to start our interview with asking Niko, have you discovered each other's love language?
Yes, we have. And that was such a funny process, okay? So let's rewind in our relationship 2.5 years ago, right? So we just joined PHP May 2019, and I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd month in PHP, the book of the month, because every month in PHP, they recommend a book. Well, the book of the month for that particular month was the 5 love languages, okay? And typically females are more into the relationship books anyway, right? So I was like, okay, this is gonna be an easy read for me, I love it. And then for him, it's like, what was it about? Tell me about it. And I was like, no, you're going to read this book, right? You're going to read it, because if I read it, you got to read it, right? Otherwise, once again, relationship's not solid, and it won't anything be solid. So we got the book. I read it first, and then he read it, and we found that out. So once again, going back to relationship side of things, I hated reading in the beginning. I did not like since I graduated college, which was the same month, I just didn't want to read anymore. I'm like, man, I've always had to read because I had to take a test or do homework. But then making my mindset shift to I'm reading for my own personal development. Like, I'm investing in me. I'm not paying for anything, right? So the fact that I was reading it for my betterment and for our betterment as a relationship, it made it a lot easier to start getting in the groove of, okay, 1 book a month. Come on, you got it, right? And now this year it's, okay, 2 books a month for me, and his is 3 books a month for him. So we're getting on better track. So my love language, well, I'm going to say it this way. His love language, his primary is acts of service, and then words of affirmation, and then quality time. That's his 1, 2, 3. I'm a little complicated in mine, and I'll let you share it.
Yeah, so the way that I read the book, it was very simple. It was like I was forced to read the book. There was no.
He liked it though. It's okay.
Let me tell you something, Lamitra. It was not like you have an option to read it today or tomorrow. No, you're reading it now. Right?
It's like the book like gets closer to his car keys every day. You know what I mean? Like on the counter, sliding it closer.
Right, yeah. So when she said read the book, so I was like, you know what? Let me read it. I want to take a serious look at this book, because if it's something that I see myself doing this long term with my significant other, I want to be able to learn, understand her in that level. So when I read the book, it was eye-opening first and foremost, because everything that the book says is true. Everything that the book says is true, because once I started doing what she loves and what she expects me to do as a significant other, as a husband, as a fiance, she started being open. She started being happy. She started smiling. She started doing things that I was not expecting her to do. And it's very simple. When I read the book, I was like, okay, what are your 5 love languages? By the way, it doesn't hurt to ask questions. Doesn't matter if you're a single female, single male. Doesn't matter if you are a single guy in a like a PHP, you're single, you want to reach out to your upline. Doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt to ask. So in our relationship, when I was like, let me discover what's Kelly 5 5 love languages. She said quality time, physical touch, and words of affirmation. I was like, wow. I was doing the complete opposite. I was doing act of service. She's appreciated, but it's not top 1, top 2, or top 3. So it's not gonna receive a lot of recognition, right? So when you understand what she loves, and that's for everybody out there, by the way. If you are looking for somebody, you are talking to that person, and you want to be able to connect at that level, first and foremost, it doesn't hurt to ask that person what she liked, was in her interest and his interest, in order to just get a bigger perspective of what I need to do in order to make the relationship work. So once I understood Kelly, our relationship blossomed.
Yeah.
It blossomed.
This book is so great. Like, we have a whole bookshelf of, books from PHP over the last 2 years, but it's such a simple read. Like, the word, if you're scared of small words, they're very, big words on the pages. It's all good. But it was cool because at Big Event, Lemetria, I don't know if you caught it, but he actually made a work version, like an employer version of the 5 love languages. That way it's not so weird for people to interpret, well, I don't want to physically touch someone at work. Okay, cool. At work, it might be a high five, or it might be like an elbow, something, but it's still a physical touch aspect where, once again, a relationship, what doesn't matter where it's at, if it's working, then everything else is going to work as well. It's going to flow.
Yeah.
Absolutely, for sure. And Niko, I like that you mentioned that, Kelly really glowed differently when you started loving her correctly in the way that she wanted to be loved. That's such an important nugget that you drop for all the guys out there, love up on your woman, right? Read the book so you can learn how to really, make it happen, so you can see that smile, that love, that peace, and that harmony in your household. Like, it definitely does make a difference.
It does.
And also too, Lemetria, what Gary Chapman mentioned, I think it was at Big Event, or I don't know if it's in his book. It's one of the two, please, or maybe both. But he said that typically your partner will show you their love language to you. Like, if you have never read the book before, so before we read the book, right, I would, be rubbing his head, I would, rub his back. What is that? That's physical touch. That's one of my number 1 love languages for me. So I'm going to display what I want. Typically, that's what happens. So if you're not sure what they're wanting, just look at what they're doing to you. Typically what it is.
Right, absolutely. So Kelly, let me ask you, how has learning about the 5 love languages helped your business partnership with Niko?
Oh my gosh. It has improved it 10, 20, 30 fold. It's been amazing. Because in the beginning, like you said, we're both alphas in our own right? We're both alphas, so we come from competitive backgrounds. So when we started a business, this is like, I want to do this. No, I want to do it. No, we're doing it right. No, you're doing it wrong. And then, okay, great. Let's just take a step back. Let's take a step back. Why did we start this in the first place? Okay, great. So when we're in the workplace, knowing his love language is acts of service. Okay, babe, you need some water before your appointment? Okay, babe, you got your pen and paper?
I'm thirsty.
Yeah, you need me to grab it? Like, if he's running a meeting, I'm the chef. You know what I mean? You need a snack? Okay, cool. Let me slide it to you. Right? I'm giving him all the things that he needs. That's his act of service. So not only am I helping him efficiently in the business, but it's also like, wow, she's attractive right now. She's giving me acts of service. Yes. So it's like a win-win for your partner, right? Because you're doing something that makes the business efficient, but you're also doing something that they love also. So that's been a big thing for me.
Wonderful. Absolutely. I like how you put that too. And I think that's really cool to sort of know, what your partner needs and be able to get those brownie points too, right? You might need those for later. So for sure. So Niko, let me ask you, are there any points from the book that you would implement into the workplace?
Yes, 100%. Everything has to do with relationships. Doesn't matter if it's a friend, doesn't matter if it's a business partner, doesn't matter if it's an associate. You have to understand what they want. You have to understand what interests them. You have to understand what they're looking for in order for you to apply it, in order for them, 1, to follow you, and 2, to have a good communication. Because let me just put into perspective. If I get somebody in my team and I don't know what they want, they're gonna leave. They're gonna quit, right? Because they trusted on me in order to go out there and just make sure that their dreams, their goals become a reality. Now, if I understand, I read the book, and I understand that relationship is number 1, right, skill in order to just build an empire, I want to be able to say, what? Let me just see what he's looking for. Let me just give him a little taste of, hey, this is what you're looking for. You're craving recognition. Let me give you recognition. You're craving, let me say, self-development. You want acknowledgement. I can give you the acknowledgement. What type of importance are you looking for in order for me to give it to you? In order for our relationship to grow, so we can both together go out there and just impact communities, and impact families, and impact the country at one point in time. So relationship for me is super important. So for everybody that's literally had not read this book yet, I recommend you to read this book, because this book is going to open your eyes if you're looking for an opportunity to build a massive team. Because the number one key is building relationship with your partner. So once you have that solidified, that is the foundation for you to go out there and just build a massive team. So look for a way to read this book, get the nuggets from the book, apply it immediately in order to see, so you can see that your business is going to explode tremendously.
Absolutely. I think it's very important to relate to your business partners, especially your downlines. They kind of, you know, when you first start the business, everyone kind of looks at you like a baby. You know, you're kind of like a baby in the business, and you need help. Everyone's kind of holding your hand, and you know, kind of until you get on your feet there. But it's important, and I just know from my own experience. Words of affirmation is a big thing for me, and especially in business. It's one of the first things that really drew me into this company. Is all the accolades and all of the, you know, cheering for each other, coaching each other up, and you know, just the uplifting each other all the time, and everyone's, you know, open to help and talk, and, you know, whatever. And I like that we can all relate to each other on some level. And at least try to have some type of understanding of each other's wants and needs as business partners, as teams, as a hierarchy. You know, we all kind of get together, and especially on the group me, I've mentioned before how we all kind of cheer each other on and really, you know, tell each other, like, even though we compete, like we are compete fiercely, like I'm telling you, like, first team is not a game, it's not a joke, like. I'm telling these promotions, like, it gets pretty serious, especially with the call outs and stuff. But at the end of the day, being around
it can get heated.
Win and want to see you do well and are cheering for you, and you know, it changes the whole atmosphere, and it makes it a lot easier to push through those times when it's kind of hard, you know, when you kind of want to give up and someone's like, no, you can do it, you go, you know, then it kind of gives you that extra win. So I understand what you mean about, like,
my mama told this to me one time, and it comes back to being around the type of people in PHP. She said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And when I heard that stuck with me, because now in PHP, now you can say, hey, look at my friends when I was in the past playing baseball when I was in Puerto Rico, and now look at my friends now. So the fact that my association now is stronger is going to help me go to the next level. So when people say, man, I'm not winning, check your surroundings first. Check to see who is pouring into you. Because maybe they're pouring into you, or they're pouring into you the wrong type of vibe, the wrong type of energy, the wrong type of information. And you're not gonna be able to literally get out of that, because that's one thing that's that's the hardest thing to do, Lamichia. Get out of that circle, because you have that like deep connection with those type of people. And when you associate with type of people, they're gonna, one, talk behind your back, two, they're gonna stab you in the back, three, they're gonna talk BS. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult. So when you have that perspective of show me your friends, I show you your future, that's what one thing that really helped me a lot growing up, because when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right, all the way to 25, that's one thing that I always focus on. I want to be around the right type of people. And God blessed me with the opportunity with PHP, because these people in PHP, not only the call outs, not only the trainings, not only the leadership, the mentorship, but the fact that they genuinely care about you, the heart and care and love that they give to you, doesn't matter the title, man, is a blessing.
And just to piggyback off that, for whoever this may concern or whoever touches this for, it's not a bad thing to put people, whether it's your family or friends, on hold. It's not bad to put them to the side for a while and say, hey, I don't know if you've ever seen the post before where it's like, I want you to eat, I want you to succeed, I just don't want you sitting at my table eating with me. I want to see you be happy. I want to see you be successful, but I just don't want you sitting at the table with me, because we're in two different leagues. We're on two different mindset levels. So I still love you, but I'm not going to be spending a lot of time with you, right? Because like you said, your associations, it's very much so like a crab bucket mentality, if you've ever heard that. A lot of crabs in a bucket. If one crab tries to get out, all the other crabs are going to try and pull them back down, right? So once you get out, and stay out for a while until you achieve what you want to achieve, and then slowly introduce them back into your life, letting them know what your standards are, right? Because if you revert right back to your same old ways, well, guess what? You hang around 4 broke people, you're probably going to be the 5th broke person, right? You hang around 4 rich people, 4 wealthy people, 4 successful people, you're probably going to be that 5th person in that same circle.
Exactly. Birds of a feather, that's for sure. Associations are big. It's one of the first things you learn when you join PHP, the ABCs of business, associations, groups, and conventions, and who you associate with will absolutely affect the trajectory of your life.
That's probably the part.
Yeah. Sooner or later, you're going to catch up to it, so yeah.
Because it's all a mental game. Right, sports is all mental. Running a business is all mental. The majority of it, right, is mental. So if you've got people around you that are like, man, what are you doing? Man, are you not a millionaire yet? You've been in it for a year. You've been in it for 6 months. You've been in it for 2 years. You're not a millionaire yet. What are you doing? What are you doing? Working a job for the rest of your life? No, thank you. Right. So stay strong in your mindset. Right. You got to have that grit, that tough skin. But it also helps to have that supportive system. And like you said, so grateful to have that here in PHP, to meet phenomenal people like yourself, Lemitra, that are going in the same path on the same route.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So actually, Kelly, that actually leads perfectly into our next question. I want to ask you, how do you handle conflict between colleagues?
Between colleagues, that's a good one, right? I can tell you how I used to handle them, and I can tell you how I handle them now. Because a big word, literally, anytime something happens in business, Niko and I both, we just look at each other. Instead of criticizing, instead of making a joke, whatever, we just say, professionalism. Right?
Yes.
We say the word professionalism, and it's like, shoot, man. Okay, I gotta get better, right? Okay, time to, man up, woman up, whatever. I gotta be that level above, because, back in the beginning, handling a conversation, a crucial conversation, by the way, that's a book name for those of you watching, Crucial Conversations. It's a tremendous book. Coming from sports, you don't really talk about things. You're very direct. You're very blunt, to the point. Maybe a very colorful conversation in regards to a few curse words here and there. It's not great. We were not polished. We're still not polished to the way we want to be, but we most definitely were very rusty, very spotty in the beginning with how we handled issues, especially with each other. But we were never rude. We still are never rude to our agents and our team, but it's always a learning process, right? Getting to know people first, because I can't coach someone the same way as I coach another person, right? I can't coach everyone the same way. I can't talk to everyone the same way, and everyone is motivated by something different. Okay, so once I know those things now, because back then I didn't even look for those things. I put everyone in the same little boat and said, okay, we're all gonna run in the same direction, doing all the same things. Well, you can't do that, because everyone runs at a different pace and they run for different reasons. So once you know those two things, what's their speed and what's their reason, then you can work effectively. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I got one quick nugget too, and it's very simple. When you're trying to just resolve conflict with your business partners, associates, your upline, your downline, your sideline, doesn't matter. One thing that you have to understand is this. This is one, by the way, this is a nugget. This is literally putting the cherry on top in order to have an effective conversation instead of, I would say, not a good type of conversation. So let me explain. So you want to be able to be understandable, first and foremost. The agent, the upline, the downline, the sideline, they never wrong. Let me explain. You want to be, so if I'm having a conversation with you, Lemitra, you're in my team, I'm having a conversation with you, right? And you say, this happened in PHP, I don't like it, oh my God, my business running slow, oh my God, this AJ quit on me, I don't know. Anything, right? Anything. The first thing I have to do is this. As a professional, keyword professional, as a professional, I have to do this. From her point of view, why Lemitra is telling me this? For her point of view. Maybe from my perspective, you're wrong, but from your perspective, you're right. From my perspective, you're wrong, but from your perspective, you're right. So I need to understand you. I need to see what your point of view is, and then let's have a conversation. Because as a professional, as a leader, when you understand your teammates, they're gonna feel open to talking to you, and that's the building that you're looking for. That is the connection that you're looking for with your team. When you understand it, they want your teammates, your associates, your sideline, your upline, your downline, they're looking for somebody that they can talk to. They don't want to be corrected. They just want to be listened. They want to have somebody to listen to them. So as a professional, once again, just keep that in mind. Just understand it from their point of view. From your point of view, they may be wrong, but from their point of view, they may be right. You just have to have that one-on-one conversation to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, so just kind of recap. So what I said, right, it's understanding their pace and their reason why. What he said, right, professionalism and being understandable. And I think the last one, which really wraps it up from what we do now, is just instead of making statements, telling them things, ask them questions. When you make someone process their own issue, which our uplines do to us all the time, and it can be aggravating as all get out, but you really just want to sit there like, man, what am I actually complaining about? Right? This is a small problem to a giant. Or right now, one of my daily affirmations, and he does it with me too, is, belittle the problem and uplift the promise. Right? Belittle the problem and uplift the promise. There's no problem in entrepreneurship or capitalism that's going to, keep me from being successful. Unless I let it make it do that. Right? But asking questions. So as a leader, to all of our agents on our team and all of our future agents, now when we handle a crucial conversation, it's asking them a lot of questions in a professional manner 100%. Versus just, oh, I think I know what's going wrong. Here's what you can do. No, ask questions.
Yep.
For sure. Absolutely. Professionalism, respect, perspective, all good points. I think it's definitely important to ask questions. You never really know what someone's going through. And like you said, they could be projecting, but from their point of view, they're going to feel like they're right. And you have to sort of help them work through that,
Exactly.
And, it can be tough, like no lie, that's for sure. I had to kind of learn how to temper that too, and I was just like, how do y'all deal with these people that be like flipping out? Because I'll be ready to just pop off, but I know I can't. No, like you said, just understanding that you have a standard and a level of professionalism, and just approaching it from a mentor point of view, like let me try to help you process this kind of thing. Absolutely can help resolve conflict. So Niko, let me ask you, what is the best way to really lock in with a good leader or mentor?
That's a great question. That's a great question. And the first thing I would say is you had to. Oh yes, I think I was when I said I was praying for 5 years, and then I was ready, right? And God put somebody like Fred and Chrissy Terrace in my life, and I said that is a blessing, because when you ask for something, it feels so good when God gives it to you. So that's the first step, seeking that mentorship. Second of all, you have to become a student. You have to show them that you're open to learn. You're open to. You desire to say, you know what, I want to go to the next level. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it takes. You're going to show them that you're going to literally break through that wall and say, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to make it happen, coach, because God put you in my life for a reason, and I'm not going to I'm not going to let nobody down. So that's the second one. Making sure that they understand that you're going to do whatever it takes. And then third, nothing's going on. But instead of just bringing a problem to your mentors, just bring positivity. Yeah, give them the good news. Hey, coach, I did this today. Hey, coach, remember that last conversation that we had? You told me to do this and this and this. I did all of them. It feels so good, right? What do you think is gonna happen to your coach and mentor? Man, this guy is coachable. I want to coach him now, full time, not part time. I want to coach him full time. Why? He's grateful because he He was seeking a mentorship. He has it. He's showing it because he's telling me that he's open to do whatever it takes. And he always bringing good news to me. Man, that's a great equalizer for somebody like me to lock into my mentor, and to my mentor lock into me. So be grateful, seek your mentor. Second of all, make sure that you're open to do whatever it takes. And third, first and foremost, bring positive news to your mentor every single day.
Absolutely. Wonderful advice. And I think that people don't really give a lot of thought when they look at like a mentor. They kind of go with maybe someone they've known a long time or something like that. But to really be intentional about seeking out a mentor, being grateful, and like you said, being open, coachable, open to learning is so important.
Yeah, and a huge part about that leadership, how you said, Miss Lemetria, a huge part about it is that we underestimate the people who are hard on us so much. Like, man, why is he always telling me to do this? Man, why is he always, pushing me to be better? Why is he always telling me to read? That's annoying, right, to the small-minded thinker. But to someone with a big vision and who knows what they want, man, I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for that, because before PHP, I would have been like, oh, this is like, babe, like, this is like too much. Like, man, can we not? Right? That would be me before PHP. Now in PHP, it's like, oh, okay, grit my teeth a little bit, but I got it, coach. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna knock it out. Right? No matter how long it takes me to do it, I'm gonna do it. Right? I'm gonna come through on that. So just being thankful instead of being, I guess the opposite, right? Ungrateful for having a coach that pushes you is so important.
Absolutely, that's for sure. I've been working with Mr. Marcus Franco, and he is a very tough coach. He's no joke. But he's very intelligent, and he knows how to give direction. And I know that I have got to be one of the most irritating agents he has, because like he'll tell me to do something, I'll be like, oh man, I don't want to do that. Like, like a shortcut or a loophole, or like, can I just do like this instead? And then like maybe, and he's like, no, like this is gonna help you, just do it, And I do, and I appreciate it. I'm grateful, I'm thankful, but at the same time, oh my God, like you said, like, dude, this is a lot of work, but you know what? I know what I'm working towards, I know what I want, and I know that it's worth it. I know that it's gonna really pay off in the end. And so being, like you said, open and willing to take direction, being coachable is so important. You really have to, as they say in the business, move at the speed of instruction. Especially in this business, because it's so easy to get left behind, right?
And the way that the company is moving right now, yes.
This next question is for both of you. I want you to name your partner's 3 best work qualities.
Go ahead.
So Niko's 3 best work qualities. 1 would be his sense of no matter what, like I don't care, no matter what, I'm gonna do it, right? Kind of like a work mule in a way, right? I'm just gonna beast mode through it, okay? That's 1. 2, his sense of leadership and pushing people. That's an area that I personally I'm weak in regards to, I worry too much about what that person's thinking. He doesn't. He's got that coach aspect on lock of, I care, but I don't care what they're thinking, because I'm the one who's supposed to push them to be better. That's his second thing. And third, I'm gonna say his big vision. His big vision. That is something that it's like, we're a yin and yang in so many areas in business/relationship. That is something where we had a big conversation about, this was with Fred and Chrissy Terra. So kind of like the same George Palaio processing conversation we had at Big Event a year and a half ago. We had one with Fred and Chrissy Terrace, because their relationship dynamic is kind of similar. So how Fred explained it was, he's the sail and I'm the anchor. not in a bad way, right? But I'm the anchor. I'm the one that I keep us steady, right? The foundation. I kind of keep us in check. Where if we were all sail, we'd be all over the place, right? We'd be East Coast, West Coast, up and down all over the Atlantic, right? So
we will get there, but I don't know how long it's gonna take us.
Like 20 years, right? So having his sail, his big vision, I need that, right? And he needs it too. That's how he operates. That's what makes him feel, complete and successful. So the more that he sails towards that, a progressive whatever, right? Whatever achievement we're working for, he's sailing towards it, and I'm keeping us reined in the back. So that's something very, very important that he's good at.
Yeah. Awesome. I appreciate it, babe. So for me, qualities for Kelly, I think that first and foremost, she's super organized. She's super thorough, super organized. And that for me, I love it because even though I try to be organized, I cannot bear the fact that she has OCD.
It's not that bad, okay?
Like somebody, so for example, Amicia, if my cup is here, and right, if my cup is here, she puts the cups here, and I put it 5 inches away from where she put it at, she gonna put it back on. That for me takes me off. It takes me off, right? So what happens? So the fact that she has that OCD, I know, and I don't have to worry about the fact that 1, the relationship is gonna be intact. 2, the household is gonna be intact. 3, the business is gonna be intact. So I don't have to worry about nothing. Bills are gonna be paid, right? The dog is gonna be taken care of. The house is gonna be clean. The food is gonna be made. That's something that a lot of people are looking for, and the fact that I haven't, I'm so grateful for it. So being very organized is amazing. Like, by the way, super amazing. Second of all, I think that the fact that she cares so much about people. Oh my God. By the way, I'm getting a little bit emotional here. I don't get emotional in the simple fact because, no, by the way, it's because it's amazing when you have somebody like Kelly that has the opportunity to say, you know what? I care about you. When that person say, I care about you, it means the world. It means the world. And the fact that she cares not only about me, but everybody that literally faced Kelly one-on-one conversation is pure love. There's no envy, there's nothing. It's pure love. So that's the second quality. Amazing. And the third but not least, she's super funny. Even though sometimes she's not funny. I tell her she's not funny, but she is funny. And I gotta lie, I read live, so I gotta be very truthful and transparent. Right? She's super funny. So yeah, those are the 3 qualities I like about Kelly the most, and the fact that I can point it out and I can just enjoy it, man, is a good feeling.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's wonderful. You guys gave each other some great accolades, and definitely things that I see in both of you. Especially with you, Kelly, you have a very technical and analytical mind, so I can see how you could be very organized. That's funny. Reminds me of my brother. He's super organized, super OCD. I used to have fun with him, like switching the.
That would have killed me. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. But it's hilarious. You move something like 2 inches, and he's like, "Move that." It's so funny. But
yeah. Wait, I counted 10 Cheez-Its on my plate. There's 9. Did you eat one? Right, exactly.
I love that. You know what? It comes in handy though, especially in business. And like I said, I've had the pleasure, the honor of not only training with but working with Kelly, and so I know how absolutely funny she can be. She has a great sense of humor, a great personality, good energy, like absolutely. So I think that's so cute.
Right. I just give her a little bit of trouble saying that she's not funny, so she can fight me back a little bit, go back and forth.
What are you talking about? I'm not funny. I clown you all the time. Wait, and then he clowns me back, and then I'm quiet.
Awesome. I love it.
Next question is for both of you again. As business partners, which would you say is harder to attain? Quality time or personal space?
You want to go first?
I can go first. So, harder to obtain. I think that in the beginning, it was more, for me, personal time. I like to be alone. I like to reflect. I like to talk to myself. I like to think 5 moves ahead. And I need to do that by like in a very silent place where nobody can bother me. So in the beginning it was hard because it was like, man, I feel like we had to do this together. So I have to consult everything to you. I have to discuss everything with you. So I had the wrong mindset in the beginning. So for me trying to create personal time and I didn't have it, it was like, oh my God, it was throwing me off.
But then there was times he would just like walk away. I'm like, are you mad at me? No, I just need my own space. Oh, okay, we're good.
Literally, like you see me trying to just run over. Like it's like I'm walking and Kelly's following me. Like Kelly, stop following me. You're gonna get me mad. So for me in the beginning, for instance, I used to get pissed off. I used to get mad. So personal time for me is like the hardest because we together all the time. But the fact that somebody like me that had like is going like things 100 miles per hour, looking for a solution for everything that happens in my life. Because like one thing that I learned was whenever you wake up, Lamitra, you always have problems. Whenever you wake up, there's not gonna go a day pass where you're not gonna have no problems. But maybe a bad conversation, maybe something happens in your job, maybe something happens in your business, maybe you got rejected, right? Maybe the appointment didn't went the way that you expected it to be. Those are problems that you're gonna have, and I understand that now. When in terms of, I need at least 5 or 10 minutes for myself to process the situation in order to not repeat the same mistake that I made in the beginning.
Yeah. And for me, it's most definitely quality time because with personal space, it's easier. I mean, we can operate personal. Hey, babe, I just need to be alone for 30. Okay, cool. Go to the bedroom. You do your thing, right? But for me, it's, I think maybe both of us now, it's more so it's more so me. It's more so me. Quality time, right? Because we can be in the same room all day with each other, doing meetings, talking to people, going out to, whatever. But quality time means I'm not talking about business. I'm not watching TV. My phone is turned down, right? It's just me and you, right? We're doing something fun, learning, our just me and you for the relationship. So that quality time can get kind of lost when you're starting a business together because everything just kind of meshes together. And it's like, oh, babe, we've been in the same room all day today. That's quality time. No, it is not, right? So that's definitely a big thing for me.
Yeah. But now understanding the fact, by the way, going back to the 5 languages book, right? Now that you understand what she's looking for, now you know what to do. And that's the best
you want
part.
to go on a walk? Yes, I do. Right?
You're right. You want to scratch your head? Come on here real quick. I got you.
Okay. Okay. My bad. So, let me ask you, what is the most significant mindset change you've made to be successful?
Mine's going to seem very simple, and I've thought on this for a long time. In regards to philosophy, in regards to building a business, in regards to relationship, but the biggest thing for me that has changed my mindset is saying yes more instead of saying no. Over the last two and a half years, or in regards to our relationship, in the beginning, he asked me a question, no. You want to do it? No. Well, what? No. Why are you saying no? No. Right? So now, like, that comes from, and I thought about this, look, it came from my scarcity mindset. I'm scared. We're making money. Okay, let's just hoard it, right? Let's keep it in our savings account. No, I don't want to spend it. No, I don't want to go out. No, I don't want to go to the spa. No, I don't. No. Well, it makes it a lot easier to continue to work hard when you start saying yes to more things because you're rewarding yourself, right? And that sets off endorphins in your brain, and it also allows your partner to be like, man, this is actually fun running the business with you versus us working so hard to not spend any of it and enjoy ourselves. So for me to be able to say yes to more things in regards to spending money, to going places, or just activities that we do together, not only it's opened my mind up, it's kind of it's cut some ties, right, to old mindset ways of thinking, but it's also opened up our relationship to we can enjoy more things now versus what we did in the beginning.
Awesome. And for me as an entrepreneur, the hardest part was being truthful to myself, being very honest with myself, because on a 9-to-5 job, when you play in a sport, it's easy to say, hey, I'm the best one in the team. I'm the best one, right, in my organization. You are not the best one. And the fact that you had to cope with that and deal with it, oh my God, it literally just destroyed my ego. I have a big ego, by the way. I mean, I'm not sure in here, but I have a big ego.
Anyone hears the Beyonce song in the background, right?
Yeah. So I got that ego. So what happened? So everything that people tell me, the first thing is gonna do is what? I'm gonna be defensive. No, you're wrong. No. Saying something. As an entrepreneur, when you are not truthful to yourself, nothing's gonna blossom. People are gonna recognize it. People are gonna see it. People are not gonna follow you at that point. So when I understood the fact that I need to be truthful to myself and just acknowledge my weaknesses and say, you know what? I'm gonna be very transparent to everybody. This are my weaknesses. I'm working on them. Express it, say it out loud, so you can have the ability to say, you know what? I don't have to be afraid of. I don't have to be afraid of what the other person has to say about it because I already said it. I already said it. So my conscience is good. My conscience is good. Feels good. I feel better because now I by the way, that's a growing process. Let me tell you something. That's a growing process. When you are truthful to yourself and say, you know what, these are my weaknesses. I'm saying it loud. I'm very transparent. That's a growing process that you're gonna go through each stage, each level, to become a successful person, successful entrepreneur. So, going back to my number one question, answer was this: being truthful to yourself is the hardest thing to do as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. I would totally agree. I would actually agree with both of you guys. It is really tough to be honest with yourself, especially about where your weak points would be. A lot of us, it's almost like, drawing back and punching yourself in the face. And it's like, who wants to do that? I don't want to do my stuff that makes me feel bad. Like, no, of course you want to lift yourself up. You want to be like, hey, you totally suck at making phone calls. Like, you don't want to say that to yourself.
You don't want to say it, right?
Sometimes you got to be brutally honest with yourself. So absolutely, and it's really important what Kelly said too. To reward yourself. Say yes to something. Spend some of that money you're making. Go somewhere. Do something that you like. Invest in the things that are going to make you happy, not just in your business, but in your personal self too. I think that's so important. Self-love, self-care has been like my whole theme, like all 2020, all 2021. Like, I'm all about it. I don't mean to be selfish, but hey, it just
there's a fine line. There's a fine line between the two, and if you can, balance that, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, really, self-reflection. Are you criticizing yourself or analyzing yourself? Because you don't really want to criticize yourself, but you do want to analyze where you could do better. But you also want to reward yourself for the things that you do good, and those small wins. Celebrate those small wins along the way. So
just to, before you go to the next question, just to let you know, so for people that are watching this right now, this is a huge nugget I understand, and I understand it pretty well. Is when people confuse movement with progress. Let me explain. Movement is something when you do one time, you fail, and you continue to do it again, 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 and your mind, you think that, in your mind, you think, I'm gonna do this differently. I'm gonna talk differently. I'm gonna act differently. But you never act on it. You just think about it. So you're thinking, I'm progressing, right? I'm moving forward. But in reality, you're moving in the same circle over and over again. Exactly. Now we're talking about progress. When people say, I'm moving forward, it's because they fail, they learn, they don't do that mistake again, and they continue to move forward. Learn. I fail, I learn, I don't do it again, and that's a cycle that you have to repeat yourself. So that's one thing I want to tell everybody out there. So don't confuse movement with progress. Movement, you're gonna be saying the same circle over. You're gonna do the same thing over and over and over again. Progress is you fail, you learn, you don't do it again, and you continue the cycle until you master your craft, so you can become a prolific business owner.
Absolutely. I understand where you're coming from with that. It's something I talk about with fitness too. You can go and walk on a treadmill, You can ride a stationary bike. You can go to the gym and do all of those things. But if you really want to get some progress, get out there in nature and run up a hill. You know what I'm saying? Get out there and ride an actual bike, move, do, get out there in nature where there's actually going to be some type of real challenge. If you just
take that.
Yes. What has been your biggest challenge as an entrepreneur so far?
Challenge, knowing that everything is not gonna be perfect.
That's a good one.
Knowing that everything is not gonna be perfect. One thing that I'm good at is know that long-term gratification is gonna pay dividends. Short-term gratification is gonna pay you in the beginning, but it's not gonna pay you at the end. And the fact that when you run a business, the first thing that's gonna happen is, oh my God, this is gonna work so perfectly that I'm gonna make money right away. Right? And it's not. And you just have to deal with it because it's the reality. Nothing that you want big is gonna come easy. Nothing that you want big is gonna come easy. So facing that reality of nothing's gonna be perfect as an entrepreneur, when you have that mindset and you already have that ingrained in your brain, things are gonna go smooth. Not only in your business, but in your relationship, not only the conversation that you're gonna have with your spouse, but with your mentor. Everything's gonna go so smooth, and you're gonna be able to be more receptive and become, like I said, this word is always gonna be in my head, a student of the game. I love becoming a student. It's just being part of that, becoming a student. You're gonna understand a lot when you have that type of mindset. When you start, when you're in it for 2 or 3 years, like me and Kelly, you're just in it for a long haul. You're in it for a long
all the time. Right?
Yeah,
you're a part-timer, a full-timer, we're all the time.
You're all the time. 7 days a week, we just trying to educate and empower, motivate, and inspire our people to go out there and just become a blessing. We are blessed to be a blessing in this world. But let me check, going back to what you said, I think that not being perfect is a good mentality to have when you become an entrepreneur. You have something to say, baby?
That was just your question. I'm good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, facing the reality of that, things might not go well, or this might not be, perfect, or just a home run, hit the first time is tough, It's one of the things I definitely dealt with too, with business. I'm kind of one of those people who's kind of usually good at things. So it's like things kind of come easy for me. And this was one of those things. I got into this business. I was like, oh yeah, I can do business.
Right. I'm good talking to people. I have credibility in my marketplace with my family and friends.
Like, oh God, I'm drowning. So I totally understand. Like, you want things to just be how they need to be, and that does not happen with business hardly ever. I spend most of my day pivoting, so I for sure understand what you mean about perfectionism.
And another thing is that, Fred, by the way, being in this business and having a mentor, going back to the first question with a mentorship, having that mentor, when you ask this question, how can you become a good entrepreneur, a good professional in this business? And the first thing that he told me is, don't attach your feelings with the results. Don't be attached with the results. And when I understood that, for me, it was so easy to do this business, because the business that we do here is not only noble, but it's easy.
Absolutely.
Our business is easy. You just have to be able to understand that, one, is not going to be perfect, and two, people have the authority to say yes or no. You just have to deal with the fact that they have a choice.
Right. I think a lot of people get scared of no, and it's like, oh man, it's the end of the world, but it's really not. And it's like, it's not personal. I think a lot of times you personalize it because, of course, it's our business. It's my business. It's my purpose. It's my this. It's my that. And so it's so personal to you. But it's just a random offer today. They're like, not today. So then you're like, oh God, my life. But
right. My business doesn't work.
You're good. Like, so that kind of I had to kind of put that in perspective for myself too. Especially if you're like a person who doesn't deal well with rejection. Yeah, being an entrepreneur, that can be a challenge, dealing with rejection if you're not used to that or you're not one who deals well with that. Because you get ready to get rejected about 100 times a day in this business, right? But when you get those wins, it's so totally worth it. So I totally
one small win after those rejections feels like you won the lottery.
Right? Absolutely. Oh man, definitely worth the challenge. So getting down to the end of our interview here, I'm going to ask this last question to the both of you. What advice or expectations would you have for a viewer who's looking to join your team? Say someone watches this interview, they love this couple, they think you guys are hilarious, they want to come in and see how organized Miss Kelly is. What should they expect?
For sure. I'll go ahead. I'll give the standards, and then I'll let you give the expectation. Standards kind of goes in line with what we said earlier. So first and foremost, professionalism. If you're someone who doesn't even think you're professional, it doesn't matter, right? No previous experience required, but you better be open to learning. Because if you're not open to learning, that means you're not open to opportunity and you're lying to yourself. So making sure that you're open to being professional, right? A high standard of being on time. If you're a person who's known for being late, then you better either fix it or just don't even try. And I'm not trying to be rude, right? Here's the coach in me coming out, right? Here's the real the pushy person. But I'm just being straight with you because I don't want my time to be wasted, and I don't want to waste someone else's time for something that they're not serious about. Because what we do, Lamitria, you, me, and Niko, what we do is very serious. Like you said earlier, it's a very honorable thing and a very noble thing that we do to be in the life insurance industry and to assist and educate people on their finances. So if you can't show up to something on time, then what are you doing, right? What are you doing? We all have the same amount of time in a day, so use it wisely. So professionalism, show up on time, but also just have a high expectation of winning and creating a legacy for your future. JTS, I'll let you say the meaning of our name. But our motto for JTS is we educate and empower, we motivate and inspire, and we are blessed to be a blessing for other people. So if that's something that you can connect with and that you want to be a part of, then by all means, please reach out. And I'll go ahead and let you say the meaning of our name and then give the expectations.
Awesome. So the name of JTS stands for Journey Towards Success. And it's always a journey because success is not a destination, but a continuous elevation of your mindset and identity. And mindset is the one thing I'm going to say real quick to close it out. And for me, mindset is everything. And for a lot of people, this word is going to hurt. It's going to hurt a few of you guys, and I hope that doesn't. But selfish, a lot of people here are selfish. We live literally. Society nowadays in America, they selfish because they only think about themselves. Americans nowadays, they think about themselves. Oh, I want to make money. Okay, cool. Oh, I want to become an entrepreneur. What industry? I want to just trade forex. Okay, cool. What type of purpose do you have when you're going to trade forex? What type of purpose you're going to have when you become a real estate agent? What type of purpose do you have? Right? So for JTS, for me personally, I'm looking for a person to say, you know what, I want to be selfish. I want to be able to say, you know what, Niko, I want to run with you. I want to follow you. I want to be part of your team. Because you're looking to just literally build communities, give financial education, financial freedom to the state, to the country, because my purpose in this world is not about me, it's about the other people, for the next generation to come up and say, you know what, I literally planned that foundation for that next generation to come up and just say, hey, I want to follow my mentor. I want to follow that person that said that I paved the way for us to go out there and become financially free. By the way, not a lot of people are going to take this message the right way. I get it. We human beings, like I said, we have a choice. We can say yes or you can say no. I totally understand. But one thing I want to say is this, so I can close it up. Don't be afraid to be selfless. Don't be afraid to think about the next generation coming up. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm doing this not only for me, because God literally has created this body to serve his purpose. And his purpose is not only to just build out ourselves, our wealth, but to just bring other people. I don't have the option to become financially free, that don't have the opportunity to become financially free. So we can just build that for them. Because a lot of Americans are dependent on us to do it first in order for them to do it next. So that's my time. That's my message, by the way, when in terms of if you're looking for an opportunity to become an entrepreneur, the first thing that you have to do, don't be selfish, be selfless. And I guarantee you that that's gonna literally take you a long way in your journey towards success.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you guys see Team JTS Journey Towards Success. I love that. Hey, high standards. Be ready to work, ready to get in there. High expectations. Be on time. Be selfless. Oh my gosh, that right there, huge jewel drop right there, man. It is so important to think about the next generation coming up. That is a huge platform. Building generational wealth is so important. We have so many people below the poverty line. It's unfreaking believable. It has to stop, and really wants to do it. So absolutely,
We don't want to do it.
you hear the standards, you hear the expectations. So feel free to reach out to them. Well, you guys tell them
That's your phone when we started. We had 45%.
information. Or not the contact information for them.